Kakadosh Boker Or Masechet Menahot Daf Yomi Daf Lamedaled Amudal 3481 says the Gemara. If you remember, we just did Vihilcheta was like Rav and Shmuel Lechumra. So now we're starting Itmar. Everyone has it? Itmar is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 lines down. Itmar, it was stated. Lul Patuach Mina Bait La'aliyah. So we have here the roosters already and the chickens and everything. So we have the Lul, right, which is basically the Cheder Madregot. Okay, which is patuach min habayit la'aliyah, which is from the right mekomot karka to kumashniya. So basically, it's like I don't know what you want to call it exactly, like stairs going to the attic, right, to the second floor. So Amar Ravuna comes and he says, if you have one entrance from the house to this lul, chayav b'mezuzah. You're going to be chayav in one mezuzah, right? Chayav b'mezuzah achat. And if you've got two different entrances, so you're going to be chayav shte mezuzot. Okay. Chavada, we don't have the pictures in this thing. You have pictures or not yet? No? Okay, fine. So fine. No, just like to see it. It's always better when you see. Yeah? So Amar of Papa. Rav Papa comes and he says, Shema Mina will learn from here with Rav Huna. Hai idruna de itle arba bave. So this cheder gadol that has, right, 4 entrances. So imagine, you got a huge room, but there's 4 entrances. Chayav b'arba mezuzot. So you're going to be chayav 4 mezuzot, right? So you got one big room, and there's many different entrances. So says the Gemara, pshita, obviously, right? Afilu poem yodim, bediu, afilu poem yodim et ze, yeah. As uchatzi yoshen, as lo tzricha. So he says lo tzricha. What are we talking about? Af al gav deragil bechad. Afilu if you only usually use one entrance, you're chayav in all of them. זאת אומרת, אפילו בדרך כלל אתה רק משתמש בכניסה אחת. Right? You know where you could give this example, a very, very simple example. Right? The Shula Bal Harbor. Okay, but that's only 2 entrances, right? And that's a completely separate exit. Okay, fine. No, but here we're talking about like 4 or 5 entrances. So for example, you've got the ballroom, right? The ballroom, right, of a big place, right? Which they have the kiddushim, yeah. Because the reason why I chose that is because Young Israel, there's only 2 entrances, which are in the same direction. Here we're talking about there's I don't know how many you've got over here. There's another 1 or 2, or 3 even. Then you've got over there, right on the right side. So you've got no, it's 3 sides. You got it from the right, from the right. Meaning if you go on the Shul Bal Harbor, you've got this side, 2 sides, and on this side, when they go out towards where they have the Cheder Yichud room, no, the kitchen is in the back. That's that way. That's also another entrance, by the way, right? There's the place of the Cheder Yichud. Yeah, ani hayiti ed. Vaday, you have edim for the children that go into the Cheder Yichud, and then you have to be, you're the ed. אבל אתה צריך ללכת לחדר בשביל לבדוק שאין אף אחד. אבל אתה צריך לבדוק. אבל איפה זה הדלת? אתה צריך לעבור. ודאי. איווה, האנשים האלה. איווה. So he says, אף אגב די רגיל באחד. Yeah, so he says, even though it's only going to be ragil with 1. So, Amar Ameimar. Yeah, Ameimar comes and he says, yeah? Okay. Huh? No. So Amar Ameimar comes and he says, Hai pitcha da karna, this petach, which is found on the Zavit Balachson. So you do have a picture of that. On the bottom, you have a picture. There's it's basically the entrance is on the corner. So he says, Chayav b'mezuzah. So Amale Ravashi Ameimar says, Ravashi to Ameimar, v'halele petzimin. He says, 1 second, but you don't have the door frame. Right? Which means that he doesn't have the petach ze mezuzot. You need the door frame. So Amalei ade petzime. He says you do have, right, the mezuzot, which means even in such a case, you could see that each one is like it does have the door case, right? The door frame, right? What it's called. Rav Papa ikla lebei Mor Shmuel. So Rav Papa came and he went to the house of Mor Shmuel. Chaza hu pitcha delo havale ela patzim echad mismala. So he saw that there was a petach echad that it didn't have only 1 mezuzah on the left side. Va'avidele mezuzah, and it was a kavua mezuzah. So Amalei comes and he says, Keman, right? Who does this go like? Can it be me? Like Rabbi Meir. So Eimar Damar Rabbi Meir, we're going to say that this is what Rabbi Meir says, miyamin, only on the right side of the petach. Mismol miyaman? Yeah? So he didn't say that. He never said on the left. So maihi. So what's the case exactly? So Tanya, was we learned in the Braita, right? It says al mezuzot betecha. What is betecha? Biatecha min hayamin, right? It means that when you're coming from the right side. So it says the Talmud min hayamin olom small. Talmud lomar betecha. So my Talmud, what does that mean? Well, how do you learn from betecha that it has to be dafka betzad yamin, right? So he says amar rabba derech biatecha min hayamin. Why? Techi akar inish kareh, because when you uproot your leg to go, dimina akar bereisha, you always start with the right foot, right? That's why there's an expression in English, putting your left foot in it, right? Some people put their left foot in it all the time, right? They just put their left in it. What? לא, מה זה קשור עכשיו? אותו דבר, ברגיל ימין נכנסים, ואומרים את הברכה הזאת. אבל עוד פעם, אנחנו רק אומרים, בדרך כלל ה-righty will always take his right foot in. So דרך ביתך, בגלל זה כתוב דרך ביתך. So דרך ביתך, that's the normal right of the way, okay? Fine. כן, אבל מה זה קשור? הוא אומר לך, למה לומדים את זה? לומדים את זה, because when you come and you start walking, you always start with your right. Yeah? שמואל. Yeah? So says the Gemara, Rav Shmuel bar Acha kamed Rav Papa. Shmuel bar Acha was in front of Rav Papa once. Mishmed Rav Barula, the name of Rava Barula. Amar, he came and he said like this, Mehacha. I've got another pasuk. The pasuk says in Melachim, Vayikach Yoyada HaKohen Aron Echad Vayikov Hor Bedalto. Right? So Yoyada Kohen, he took an Aron Echad. He made a Hor in the Delet. Vayiten Oto Etzel HaMizbeach HaYamyamin. ויבוא איש בית השם ונתנו שם הכהנים שומני אסף את כל הכסף מובא בית השם. So they yeah, exactly, נכון? Yeah, פרשת שקלים. So he comes and he puts over here. Okay. So he comes and he says, so therefore it's going to be before ish. So might have been Meir now. So what does it mean now, right? Rabbi Meir that Rav Papa mentioned, right? So he comes and he says like this. He says as follows. Because he says he keman nire kemo Rabbi Meir. Tamar Rabbi Meir mismo miyamim mismo miyamar. So he says the time we learned on the right. Bayit she'en lo ela patzim echad. What happens if it only has one entrance? Okay. So he says Rabbi Meir mechayev b'mezuzah v'chachamim potrin. Okay, and the chachamim they say it's going to be patur. You have the picture on the bottom that it only has like one entrance. I don't know if you see it, right of the on the bottom over there. So he says, "My tamad Rabbanan." Why do the Rabbanan say it's going to be patur? Mezuzot ktiv, but it says mezuzot, and it only has one mezuzah. It does not have mezuzot. So my tamad Rabbi Meir. What's the reasoning of Rabbi Meir? It's like one doorpost, right? So you have it on the bottom there. Look. Many times, by the way, you should know this happens many times with hallways. For example, I have this in my house that my wall of the salon goes like this, and then the wall of the hallway starts here. So therefore, it's only got one doorpost because over here it's in the middle of the wall. So therefore, it all depends if it's going to be on the right side or the left side, right? Meaning, if the right side has a doorpost and on the left side is only the long, so then you would put it without a bracha. But if it's on the left side, which is the doorpost, and the right side is the full wall, so you don't even have to put one at all. So I don't put one. No, but you're talking about the Daled, you're talking about Daled Amot. בתוך חדר. פה אני מדבר על מסדרון, like על...
Space, the apartment here, when you come in like this, usually after you come in a small area, and then there's a separation like this. Usually the post is on the left side going this way, so that's not going to need.
No, so it's not going to need.
That's what has to be the way coming in.
So he comes and he says this. What's the reasoning of Rabbi Meir? My time Rabbi Meir, the Tanya was learned in a Braita, right? Mezuzot, right? What does it mean mezuzot? Shomea ani miut mezuzot ze shtaim. Whenever you say mezuzot, it's plural. It doesn't say mezuzah, so mezuzot. So miut ze shtaim. כשהוא אומר מזוזות בפרשה שנייה, when it already tells you מזוזות in the second parasha, שאין תורה לומר ריבוי וחליבוי, it's an inclusion after an inclusion. So אין ריבוי אחד ריבוי אלא מעט. So whenever you have an inclusion after an inclusion, it's coming to exclude something. So מיתו הכתוב למזוזה אחת, so therefore it's going to exclude one מזוזה. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. Of Rabbi Shmuel, sorry. Rabbi Akiva אומר, Rabbi Akiva says, אין עוד צריך, you don't need it. Why? כשהוא אומר, והגעתם על המשקוף ועל שתי מזוזות, when it says על המשקוף ושתי מזוזות, remember, the משקוף is the lantern, they said, I think it was, that on the top part. ועל שתי מזוזות in the doorpost, שאין תלמוד לומר שתי, what does it mean שתי? מה תלמוד לומר שתי? Why does it שתי? זה בנאב, שכל מקום, right, שנאמר מזוזות, אין העלה אחת, that it's always going to be one. עד שיפרול לך כתוב לשתיים, meaning like this. why did I have to say שתי המזוזות? If you already tell me מזוזות equals 2, למה אני צריך להגיד שתי מזוזות? אז ללמד אותך הפוך, שרילי באמת מזוזות זה 1. עד שיפרוט לך כתוב שתי מזוזות, וזה כתוב מפורש, שתי, so then it's 2. But if not, it's not. מזוזות, בגלל הוא אומר לך, אז למה אני צריך להגיד 2? If I say cars, how many cars does it have to be? Minimum 2. So when I say 2 cars, so therefore the fact that I said 2 cars show you that really באמת cars is really באמת 1. Yeah, fine. So now he says like this. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned on the Braita, Uchtavtam. What does it mean now, Uchtavtam? So he says, Yachol ichtavena al avanim. I would have thought to say that you're going to write it on the avanim, which is basically a petach banui, right? So he says, Ne'mar kan ktiva v'ne'mar lehalan ktiva. It says over here to do the mezuzah lashon ktiva, and it says over there to do legaresh et ishto beget also ktiva. It says v'katav la sefer geritut. Ma lehalan ala sefer, just like over there has to be ala sefer, which means klaf. Afkan sotir, it has to be ala sefer. Right? Right? Or klach derech zo, go the other way around. Ne'mar kan ktiva v'ne'mar lehalan ktiva. It says ktiva by both. So he says, "Male halan alavanim," just like it has to be on an Evan, so it has to be an Evan, right? So nireh lemi dome lemi, meaning we have to find out what is more dome. Meaning like this: it's written uchtavtam by a mezuzah, it's written uchtavtam or vekatavla by a get, so it has to be on a klaf. But maybe go the other way around. It says vekatav, right? Was it says over there vekatavta lehem kol divrei Torah azot? He wrote it on avanim, so therefore maybe be'emet you have to write the mezuzah on avanim. Okay, so he says. דנים כתיבה נותנת נוהגת לדורות מכתיבה נוגע לגדורות ואין דנים כתיבה נוגע לדורות מכתיבה שאינו נוהגת לדורות וכמו שנאמר להלן just like it says over להם ברוך מפיו יקרא אליי את כל הדברים האלה ואני כותב על הספר דיו and I'm going to write the ספר דיו so אמר לרבה חבר דרבה לרבשי he says רבה חבר דרבה תרבשי רחמנה אמר על מזוזות ביתך ואתה אמרת נלף כתיבה כתיבה says I don't understand you I tell you that it's written on mezuzot betecha and you're going to tell me that you want to start learning Ketiva, you want to start learning a thing from get that it has to be on a klaf? He says, I don't understand. Obviously, it has to be parashiot, that's one, no, not a klaf. Right? So, Amarka, it says, uchtavtam. What is uchtavtam? Ketiva tama. V'hadar ala mezuzot. What does that mean? Right? Then it says, right? So he says like this, Ketiva tama umushlemet b'dio, en ha'efsharut al etzim u'avanim, ela al seven. Meaning, when you want a perfect tav, it can never be on etzim vavanim. Etzim vavanim, it's not chalak, it's not smooth. It's like a shuk, you understand? It's like all over the place, you understand? So what happens? So therefore you have to come and it has to be ala klaf. Ala klaf, it's nice. Yeah? Umeachar, dichtiv, since it's written uchtavtam. So why do I need a gzera shava? Why do I need a gzera shava lamali? So he says, "Ilav gzera shava." If there was no gzera shava, I would have thought to say, "Lichtava avna v'lichtava sipa." You could even write it on an evan or on a sipa. Kamash Malan comes teach you that it's not like that. Okay. Arba parashiot shebetfilin me'akvot zo et zo. We have 4 parashiot in the tefillin for those that wear tefillin, right? They're going to be me'akvot zo et zo. Va'afilu ketav echad me'akvan. So even one letter is going to be ma'akev. Pshita says the Gemara. Obviously. Amar Rav Yehuda Rav says Rav Yehuda name of Rav lo nitzcha. We're talking about a kotzos shel yod. We're talking about even if it's going to be missing the regel yemenit of the yod, the kotzos shel yod, a tefillin is going to be psulot. So says Gemara vanem pshita. It's obvious. So lo nitzcha. What are we dealing with? Ela leidach Rav Yehuda, the other Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda Rav kol ot shen gvil mukaf lamar baruchotea psula. Remember that every ot always has to be mukaf gvil. Mukaf gvil means that it has to be surrounded by gvil. It has to be surrounded by parchment. And if it's not going to be surrounded by parchment, it's pasul. Lamedaled Amuvet 34b. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. Ultotafot, but it says Vayale ot al yadecha, ultotafot benecha. Ukshatam ot al yadecha al yadecha, ultotafot benecha. Right? Ukshatem otam leot al yadechem, ultotafot benechem. So why does it say totafot, totafot, totafot? Now, did you realize that totafot twice it's written with the vav, and once it's written without the vav? So he says arekan arba. It's going to be arba batim of the rosh. Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Kiva Omer, eno tzarich, I don't need it. Why? Tat is in Lashon Katfi is shtaim, and Pat Lashon Afriki is shtaim. So it's already tat pat, 2 2. 2 2 2 2, right? 2 2 is 4. So I already, meaning I don't need because it's written to the fourth, and one time it's written without the vav, so therefore it's 1, and the other. Ma? כן, because in the plural, right? So we have the first two times, פעמיים הראשונים is כתיב חסר.
מה המשמעות של המילה תותפות?
ת"פת.
מה זה ת"פת?
בלשון אפריקי ובלשון קטפי. 2-2.
התורה הביאה לנו והיו לתותפות ביניהם.
So זה מה שרבי עקיבא אומר. רבי עקיבא אומר, זה בנוי ששתי מילים בשפות אחרות. בדיוק.
אוקיי, אבל מה זה? באפריקה?
2 ו2.
באפריקה? זהו, זה...
כן.
הרב, אפריקי, מה אומר לך? מה אומר פה?
אפריקי זה 2. פת באפריקי זה 2. Okay, so tat, pat. That's one answer. The other answer...
פת זה אחד, איפה תת?
מה?
אמרת
פת.
תת, מאיפה מגיע?
מלשון קטפי.
מה זה קטפי?
קטפי, עוד מקום.
עוד שפה.
עוד שפה. אוקיי? So יש לך אפריקי ויש לך קטפי. So 2 ו2. הוא אומר, אבל לפי השיטה הראשונה, תותפות הראשונה זה היה בכפול, והשתיים השניים היו בלי ו', אז זה היה... without the vav. So therefore it's double, 2, ואז זה 1. אז זה 4. Right? That's the first שיטה ברבי ישמעאל. Okay? תנו רבנן, we learned on הברייתא, יכול, right, יכתבם על 4 אורות. Maybe I'm going to put them on 4 different אורות. Okay? Meaning I'm going to write the 4 parashiyot of the tefillin shalosh על 4 חתיכות of cloth, and then you're going to place them ב4 בתים. Right? ב4 אורות, with 4 different pieces of אור. תמול לומר, והוא זיכרון מנעיניך. מה זאת אומרת? זיכרון אחד אמרתי לך, ולא שלם, but it's not going to be 2 or 3. So how does that work then? הכיצד? כותבן 4 רות, you're right, you're going to write them on 4 different parchments. ומניחן ב4 בתים, but you're going to put them in 4 different בתים, but with 1 or. Meaning, on the top part, it's 1 or, but it's 4 different בתים. זאת אומרת, בפנים זה 4 different בתים.
בתים, 1 ל4 בתים, איך עושים את זה? אני לא מבין.
הם עושים את זה קשיח כבר, הם כבר עושים את זה.
אבל זה מחובר, אמרת.
כן, אחר כך הם שמים את זה כמו אחד, אבל really באמת זה 4 בתים. They form it. They form it.
תסביר לנו, אבל אני לא מבין איך עושים.
Afterwards.
כזה ל4 תיבות.
Afterwards, okay? So he comes and he says like this. Right? Look, you have the picture on the next page. Right? It's the, what's it called? ואם כתבם באור אחד וניחן ב4 בתים. Now, if you did write it on one parchment and put it in 4 בתים, יצא, you're going to be יוצא. ואז צריך רווח ביניהם, but then you need the רווח ביניהם. דברי רבי וחכמים אומרים, אין עוד צריך, ושבין שניתן חוט ומשיכה בין כל אחד ואחד. So look at the picture. On the picture on the bottom, you see how the 4 בתים are made from 1 אור.
זה הבית.
Everyone sees?
זה לא הקלף.
זה מה שאנחנו מדברים. על הבית, לא על הקלף.
מה עושים עם הקלף?
אתה עושה 4 קלפים בתוך אור אחד. זה של ראש.
יום ראשון יש טיול הפארם.
ואם אין חריצה ניקל, now if you cannot see the charitz, right, so therefore it's going to be psulot. That means it has to be barur that there's going to be 4 different ones. So Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in a braita. Ketzad kotvan, how do you write it? Tfilah shel yad kotva al or echad. So the tefillin shel yad, you're going to write it on 1. Ve'im kat, right, but tefillin shel rosh, you write it on 4, kudo. Right, ve'im katva, מה זה ודאי. ואם כתבה ב4 אורות, now if you put it on 4 אורות, וניחה בבית אחד, now if you put it on 4 and then you wrote it, put it in 1, you're going to be tzedek חובה, וצריך להידבק, right, and you have to put them all together, שנאמר בזה הפסוק, והיה לך לאות על ידך, it has to be 1 אות על ידך, כשם שתפילין, just like the tefillin shel yad is going to be ot אחד מבחוץ, so it's going to be ot אחד מבפנים. These are the words of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yosef אומר, אין, לא צריך, you don't have to do that, you don't have to be מדבק אותם ביחד. Right, so one more time, tefillin shel yad is 1 box, and therefore since it's 1 box, it's 1 clef. Okay, tefillin shel yad is 4, right, it's like 4 boxes in 4 compartments inside of the 1 piece of leather, so it's going to be 4 parchments. So אמר רבי יוסף, הוא מודה לרבי יהודה ברבי, שאם אין לו תפילין של יד ויש לו תפילין של ראש, what does he only have תפילין של ראש? Right, שתולה אור על אחת מהן, ומניחה. Put the ore on top. You remember we spoke about this. You're going to put the ore on top of the full tefillin shel yad part, and then you put it on, כמו תפילין של יד. Right? מה? לא, 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 אם יש לך. Right? That means basically... No, אבל יש לך 2 של ראש. One more time. בדיוק. That's what we just learned. What we just learned is that. So therefore, what you do is you're going to put 1 piece of ore on top of the shel rosh, because the rosh is now 4. So you put the piece of ore on top of it. Now it's all 1 ore. Once it's 1 ore, I'm going to put it on my yad. And then I'm going to have 1 yad, 1 rosh. Right? תשתמש בראש. מודה, היינו פלוגתיו. He says, what do you mean מודה? It's פלוגתיו. עיקרני says, that's מחלוקת. So Rava says, מדבריו של רבי יוסי, חזר בו רבי יהודה. You're right. Because of the words of רבי יוסי, רבי יהודה was חוזר בו. So any is it so? והא שלח רב חנניה משמד רבי יוחנן. תפילה של יד עושים אותה שלוש. The תפילין של יד, you could make it with the ראש. So the ראש, you can't make it של יד. Why? שהם מורידים מקדושה חמורה לקדושה קלה. So 1 second. קדושה, the ראש, זה קדושה חמורה. So we explain why was the קדושה חמורה? Because it has שתי שמות. Why does it have שתי שמות? The shin and the dalet. The tefillin shel yad only has the yod. So he comes and he says, you can't bring it down from kedusha chamura to kedusha kala. So answers the Gemara like it's not a question. How about tikta bechata? You're right. If it's already old, you can't bring it down from kedusha chamura to kedusha kala. But if it's going to be new, so you could do that. But according to the mandamar, hazmana miltai, that the second year mazminit zebishil zemini, you designated for something gamarnu. So he says that you made the tnai from the beginning. Okay, Taru Rabbanam, we learned on the Braita. Keitzad Sidran. So this is now we're going to get into Rashi Rabbenutam, Ra'avad, and the Shimusha Rabbah. Right there, you have them on the bottom. You have the picture. We're going to speak about it now. Keitzad Sidran. What is the order of the four parashiyot? So it says Kadeshli, Vaya Kiviacha, Mitzad Yamin, and Shema, Vaya Im Shamua, Mitzad Smol. So ask the Gemara, 1 second. Vatanya Ipcha. But I thought it was going to be the opposite. Right? That really be'emet, Vaya Kadeshlim, Vaya Kiviacha is going to be Mitzad Smol. And Shema Vaya Im Shamua is going to be Mitzad Yamin. Amar Abaye, says Abaye, Lakash, it's not a question. Kan mimino shel koreh, kan mimino shel b'niach. It all depends who you're talking about. What's yamin? Yamin of the one that's putting it on, or the yamin of the person that's looking at you?
No, always what you put.
Yeah? So he comes and he says, right? So he says, that's what he says, that's lakashia. So therefore, the one that's mulchash, yachol likrot parashiyot. And here we're talking about the one of the maniach. So a koreh, right? Koreh kesidran. So the one that comes out that he's going to read it, he's going to read it kesidran. And that's why you have it. Look in the picture. You have Rashi. Rashi starts, right, with Kadeshli vaya kivecha, Shema vaya im shemoa. Rabbeinu Tam does the same. Kadesh vaya, but if you remember, he says havayo be'emtza. So it's vaya im shemoa, vaya kivecha, vaya im shemoa, and then Shema. According to the Ravad, you're going to have Shema vaya im shemoa, vaya kivecha kadesh. Right? So you do have the havayot be'emtza, but you have Shema on the right side and the Kadeshli on the left side. And according to Shimusha Rabbah, according to the Rama Mifano, you have Vayayim Shemua Shema. Okay, and then you have Vayayim Vayaki Kadesh. So it's like, like that means basically like it's always going to be the which way were you going? So ודאי מגלגלים את ודאי, תמיד. כן, ודאי. Yeah, ודאי. Okay? Yeah, you remember we did in Beki Malacha that even after you turned it around, even after you rolled it, you're going to take another chut shel gemi and you're going to go around it and make a knot? כשאתה גומר את זה, אתה שם עוד קלף לבד ריק, ואז אתה שם חוט של גמי ואתה, כאילו לקשור.
למה?
אמר רב חנן אל אמריו, החליף פרשיותיה פסולות. If you come and you change the פרשיות, it's going to be פסולות. So אמר אביי לאמרם, what are we talking about? אלא גבייתא לברייתא, from the outside to the inside, זה ברייתא גבייתא, אבל גבייתא לגבייתא, ברייתא לברייתא, there's not going to be a problem.